We are back on Taking Care of Business on Koerner Radio News Talk 1180. Clay, we're going to take a little bit of a turn from talking to Eric Rush about Reverend Wright and political November politics. And
we're taking a big tour, but you know I always bring politics into it, whatever it is.
Somehow or another we'll have politics in the next 20 minutes. I can see it coming. But we're going to have a conversation with two of my favorite real estate professionals in Kern County. Diana Williams, the president of the Tehachapi Board of Real Estate Realtors with RE/MAX, and her husband sitting in the background here, Jack, and our local representative, Heidi Gray with Miramar Real Estate. Heidi, Diana, welcome to Taking Care of Business.
Good morning.
Good morning. Thanks, Marty.
Hey, this is a pleasure having you guys here. So let's start off by talking a little bit about yourselves. Heidi, you're a real estate agent for Miramar.
Yes, I am.
You've been an agent for how long?
Since 2003.
Okay, so, and I know you've helped a couple clients of mine, so you do a great job. I'm really, really happy with the work you do.
Thank you.
Diana, you and I have been friends for 20-some-odd years. You've been an agent for how long now?
Since 1988.
So you were a child when you went into real estate?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay. And you're the president of the association in Tehachapi. This is your second or third go-round, right?
It's my second go-round.
Okay, as president.
Correct.
Okay. Marty used to babysit for her.
This is how we went the 3 hours yesterday, back and forth. So let's talk a little bit about the real estate market. Is the market getting any better?
Definitely. We're really seeing some improvement. We're seeing multiple offers on a number of our properties. Mostly the properties that are listed under $100,000 and then going up to $200,000. So it is showing improvement.
Okay, what about in Bakersfield? Same thing here?
There are definitely multiple offers on properties. There's a lack of inventory. There's only a little over 500 properties on the market right now. So everybody is trying to get the same property.
Okay, get a little closer to that mic there, Heidi. There you
Hey, I've got a house that I'm willing to sell, but unfortunately I'm upside down. So tell me a little bit about a short sale. What do I do and how do I get out of it?
Short sales are tough these days. Is it your principal residence? Do you live
No,
there?
it's a rental.
Wow, that makes it even a little bit more difficult. You really have to be able to prove a hardship in order to sell something on a short sale. Do you have a hardship?
It's called the government.
That's not an excuse these days, Clay. I'm sorry to tell you.
Now, Diana, when you look at Clay, I mean, doesn't he just look like the word hardship?
Yes, absolutely.
But that's not the kind of hardship you're talking about.
Right. No,
Okay.
it's not at all.
Okay.
No.
Now, if you're going to start associating on Marty's side, you're going to suffer the consequences of the clay.
But I'm sitting further away from you, so it's okay.
Okay. So you don't think it's a good idea that I do a short sale on a home that I'm upside down on because it's a rental?
Well, it depends on what you want to do with your credit. That's going to be one of your biggest issues, and you may not even be qualified to do the short sale. That could be problematic for you.
What would be a reason that I wouldn't be qualified?
If you have income, if you have savings and you could pay the loan off on your own, if you you would have to have a reason to not be able to maintain the home and the payments.
See, I only get 50% of my income because the government takes the other 50%.
Boy, you're
Well,
just looking for every opportunity to blame the government for this, aren't you?
For
You
all my
must be in a
problems.
really high income bracket, Clay.
Definitely. This show pays like you can't believe.
Wow, I knew that you and Marty really had it going on here.
At any moment now, the ceiling's going to open up and Clay will be gone.
So, Diana, what's your primary business? You sell homes, apartments, commercial property. What is it that you sell?
Yes.
Oh,
I sell homes, apartments, commercial property.
And Heidi, what's your primary business?
Primarily, it's residential, single-family homes. I do work with several investors in obtaining multifamily unit homes for a good price.
So do you have a particular farm? Is that what they call it in real estate that you work in?
I work all over Bakersfield and Taft, mainly. I grew up in Taft, so I have a lot of clientele over there.
I see. But aren't they called farms? Agents work certain areas and they call it their little farm or something?
Yeah, northwest, southwest, northeast, southeast.
I see.
You know, they really try and separate it by zip codes, but I go all over the place. I work wherever my client needs me to work.
What's the mean price of a home today in Bakersfield and also in Tehachapi?
Depends on the area. I mean, if you're looking in the northwest, you're going to pay $150 to $200.
Which is still not bad.
It's not bad, no, and it goes up from there. It just depends on the area and what you're looking for, with a pool, without a pool, bedroom, square foot.
Are prices starting to go up again?
I wouldn't necessarily say they're really going up. They seem like they're going up because there's such a lack of inventory, so people are overbidding properties. So it's kind of a false sense of it going up.
Same thing in Tehachapi.
We're seeing the same thing in Tehachapi, Marty. What's happening right now is with so few homes on the market, the problem that we're having is that people will overbid, as Heidi said, and then we have a difficult time getting the appraisal in. So we have to deal with that as well.
We're having a conversation with two real estate professionals, Diana Williams and Heidi Gray.
I've seen these Kiwanis guys wearing these K pins and the Rotary guys wearing all these fancy Rotary pins, and you guys have what's called an R pin. What does that mean, the R pin?
The R pin is the realtor pin, Clay. Thank you for asking about that. I want to tell you that the realtors have been around for over 100 years. The National Association of Realtors is a great, great trade organization, and all realtors are real estate agents, but not all real estate agents are realtors. And we hold ourselves to a very high standard. We have a code of ethics, and we abide by that. We're looking to be as professional as we can in this business. So I would say that when you are looking for a real estate agent, look at their business card. Look for that Realtor R. That's going to tell you that they are a professional.
That's interesting because in our industry, Marty and I are both in the insurance industry, and we also have organizations that we're members of, the Health Underwriters Association and the Casualty Agents Association and the Life Agents Association, which we're probably members of all of those. But that signifies that we are professional, we do have integrity, and we know what we're doing because we have to take continuing education, as you probably do, and continue to service the client based on certain parameters that are given to us by both the state and federal governments.
Well,
that's correct.
Yeah.
And in the interest of disclosure, I've been a member of your organization, Diana, as a realtor and as an associate for 22 years now. So since I think a year or two after it was founded, I think.
I think you're correct.
Yeah.
We just celebrated our 25th year in Tehachapi as a member of the California Association of Realtors.
Wow.
So that's really exciting for us.
Now, let's talk a little bit more about real estate again, the actual market. So you both mentioned there's a shortage of inventory.
Yes.
Why is there a shortage of inventory?
Because the banks aren't releasing properties in a timely manner. Once they foreclose on a property, it could take sometimes upwards of a year to year and a half before they actually release it back on the market. So it sits there, sometimes vacant, sometimes not vacant. Sometimes they allow the owners that they foreclosed on to stay in the property.
I think we were talking the other day about some couple that's been in a home for over a year that's already been foreclosed. 18 months.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess, what's the advantage for the bank to letting the...
It's not going to be vandalized. It's going to... the yard's going to stay maintained. The pool's going to stay maintained. So they're not going to have people breaking in and thrashing the house, which they've had on several properties.
So all of a sudden here you have this inventory potentially that's there, but they're not releasing it. Why aren't they releasing it?
Because it stays on their books as an asset after it forecloses. But the minute they put it back on the market listed, it shows up as a liability. So they're kind of fudging their books a little. They're making it look like they're doing better than they really are.
And I'd like to add to that, Marty, that a lot of that is what's happening with our short sales, too. They don't want to sell as a short sale, the banks, because then they are getting rid of that asset. They no longer are keeping that property at the market value that it was at one time. And that's the biggest problem. They call it market to market. It's really not at $400,000 any longer. It's maybe at $300,000.
So they're artificially keeping the market
inflated.
Basically inflated.
Correct.
Sure. Diana's looking. You didn't want to say that, huh?
I'm letting you say that, Marty. I'll let you get into hot water.
Story of my life.
Realtors can't say things like that.
This is true.
They have to be honest and ethical.
Well,
the ones with the R on their shirt.
The rest of us don't. Oh, I see. Okay.
Is that right? The ones with the R have to be careful, but the other ones can say what they want.
We have to be ethical. Absolutely.
Yes.
Let's pick up here when we come back, okay? We'll be back in a moment on Taking Care of Business on Koerner Radio, News Talk 1180.